Buenos dias, Gunnerz Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with a snack habit. Bye, bye. Let's get to the intro, man. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking, and I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So let's clear up some mess, right? Some mess that I guess everyone is saying I created. Hey, my hand was dealt, and I played my hand, and I'm at fault for a little bit, right? And I'm mad enough to express that and explain myself. I know a lot of people say that old school saying, man, you don't have to explain yourself, but you really do. When you're in the wrong or you say something that's wrong, you really do. But am I totally wrong for fucking speaking my mind, for standing my ground? Let's get to it. So the other day I did a live, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had a few drinks during the live. I'm not making excuses. It wasn't the drinks talking. I wasn't inebriated to the point I didn't know what the fuck I was saying. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I got a little loose, though. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit more boisterous. My voice was being heard a little bit more. That just is what it is. But let's rewind before that live. Let's take it back to a couple of weeks ago when I had my encounter with bad meat, right? When I ate that messed up meat and I got real sick and my body rejected it. And I thought I was dying, man. I really, I've never seen my face. It puffed up. It looked crazy. All the vessels were busted in my face from throwing up so much, right? I was throwing up bile and blood and all kinds of things was happening. And it scared me. It scared me because the thing that was flashing through my mind, who's going to take care of my kids? Who's going to take care of my business? Like, what's going to happen after I'm gone? You never understand or realize what means the most to you till you are in a situation like that. And I went from 0 to 100 quick. It just tripped me out because 1 minute I'm on a live eating, the next, within a minute, I'm fucking felt like I was passing away. And so I did a video on it the next day, kind of explaining to people because there was people that were questioning off that live because I just got off the live, fucking came back staggering, turned it off without them seeing me because I was so ashamed of the way I looked, I was just fucked off. Anyways, I put my video out there about that. And of course, there's always going to be naysayers, people that are pessimistic, people that have shit to say, and then a lot of haters that just don't like me. And so there was a lot of things being thrown around. Was it real? Was it AI? Look, I'm not BB, okay? I got, 10 fingers, not 11. Okay, so, and I'm not drinking coffee that don't disappear. The facts and the truths are this, right? The shit really happened. And I was only explaining it because people were concerned, the ones that were on the live, like, hey, this is what happened. I fucking thought I was going to die last night, man. It was, and even with just telling my story and speaking facts, there was people questioning it. Is it true? It's AI. That didn't happen. And then when people realized, okay, this is real. Something happened. He really got sick. There was literally people on haters' channels talking about, I hope that fool dies. And they were upset that I didn't pass away. People I've never met, people I've never talked about, people I wouldn't fucking know if I was walking down the street, have so much hatred in their heart and so much envy and jealousy for me that they literally were wishing death upon me. Damn, that fool didn't die. I hope he passes away. And it wasn't just one or two people. It was a lot of people saying that, right? Now, until you experience that type of hatred, you don't know, right? How much people are wishing upon your demise. How much that they don't want you to get hurt or trip or fall or none of that. They want you to fucking die, right? That's how bad. There's literally a guy that used to follow my channel, send money to my channel, support, just all that, man. He was very opinionated. I always knew that, but there was never no disrespect, but he told it like the way it was, and I respected him for it, right? And now he's jumped to the haters, and now he's full-fledged hater mode, right? And this dude literally says, you guys are lucky I'm in. He's talking about myself and Dubs. You're lucky I'm in El Salvador deported because if I wasn't, I'd hunt you down. And do what? Get yourself hurt? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. If you think I'm just going to stand there and let you do something to me, bro, you got me fucked up. I ain't Willie Lump Lump, bro. at all, right? But anyways, I digress with that guy. He ain't doing shit. Never was, never is. But one thing I will say is a lot of people were wishing death and hatred on me. And when I seen it, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much people hated me. For what? For not being an active gang member, going out there terrorizing my community and hurting people and stabbing people and killing people and all that. That's what you're mad at me for? So mad that you have to make up all these stories and this disrespect and make up straight lies. Oh, Gunnerz this, Gunnerz got weird charges. He's that, he's this, he's that. Yet I'm a grown man, a single father, man, taking care of mines. No one helping me. My own money, my own work ethic, everything that I put into it, I'm doing with full custody of my child, picking her up from school, taking her to school, waking up in the morning, making sure she's right, making sure she got clothes, like taking care of everything, cooking dinner, breakfast, lunch, packing lunches, doing all that by myself, right? Like a grown man. Not worried about fucking who's killing who in prison or who's gangs. Yes, I do this YouTube shit and I tell my stories with a twist and I make you guys laugh and I talk about places I've been and things that I've seen and my perspective on certain situations. But at the end of the day, the only thing I'm active at in my life is being a father, a good one at that. I think everyone that knows me says so. But these guys are wishing death upon me, not caring about my children, not caring about my family, not caring about nothing because they're mad that I fucking hang around with an individual they don't like. I remember when the roles were reversed and they were mad at Dubs for hanging out with me. Now I guess they're mad at me for hanging out with them. Well, you're not going to fucking tell me, a grown man, who I'm going to hang around with and what I can and can't do. Anyways, the other day I'm on a live. And remember, mind you, I've heard all these things, all these people wishing death upon me and everything. And I guess it's all good. It's all good to spew hatred if it's towards me. But if I speak my mind and I say something out of character, then they start playing the victim role. Then I'm all bad, right? So one thing I will tell you is I've had family, friends that have passed away from cancer. Okay, I've had enemies, EBK, that passed away from cancer. Not once when that dude passed away did you hear me speak ill of his name, and you're not going to hear it now. Even though he disrespected me and said a lot of things and disrespected my family and was going in on me and making video after video after video, putting makeup on my face in his thumbnails, calling me gay, calling me all these different things. When he passed, all that, the chapter closed right there. All that hatred, negativity, disrespect, all that went with him. Okay, and I never once made a video talking shit about him after, didn't disrespect the dead, didn't do that. The haters were politicking on it. They wanted me and myself and Dubs to say something bad about him so they could twist it up and say, look, see these guys? But I never did. And it wasn't because I was giving them what they wanted or not giving them what they didn't want. It was because as a man, once a person passes, that's it. Anything that I had against them, the slate's clean. I don't got nothing more to say, right? So anyways, there's a guy named Rob, Loyalty of Rob or something like that. His channel used to pop up in my feed every once in a while. And I would tap on it. I wanted to see what he's about. He would wear a Jason mask and he was in the prison genre, or he still is in the prison genre. And I watched a few of his videos and he was talking about a lot of the politics of prison and a lot of things that necessarily were like in depth that I wouldn't or choose not to talk about just because, you know, I'm not going to fuck up what they got going on in prison. That's just not my thing. I'm going to do comedy. I'm going to clown. I'm going to talk about hood shit. I'm going to have a good time. But I'm not going to talk about organizations and the inner workings and how they work. And it's not my thing. Okay. It's not for me. You know, when I first came out, I was saying things. And as I realized, hey, man, that's not the route to go, I eased back from that. A lot of people didn't like it, but it just fucking is what it is, right? Being real. It's not out of fear. It's out of safety and security for my family. It's out of saying, you know what, these guys don't talk about me. I'm not going to disrespect them. That's what it's out of, right? And knowing that fucking it's life or death situations, man. And I'm not trying to go that route. I'd rather die by tainted meat than a meet and greet. You feel me? It's just real. And so this guy's doing what he did. I didn't slander his name. I never made a video. I never talked shit about him. I didn't acknowledge it. Whatever. To me, he was the masked magician. You guys remember back in the days, the masked magician who didn't talk but just came out and showed you all the inner workings and the tricks, how he exposed all the tricks. To me, that guy was the masked magician. He was exposing all the inner workings of the organizations and prisons, the gangs and all that, right? To each their own. Kind of like Jay Hands, the only difference is Renegade shows his face. This guy chooses not to. Now, I know why he wears a mask. Everybody knows why he wears a mask. These dudes wear masks because, or they change their voices and they don't want to be seen And it's not everybody. There's some some faceless channels that are doing their thing. They just do comedy. They go in, and to each their own. But when these guys are talking about prison organizations, life or death situations, inner workings of prisons, California prison system, and gangs, they wear masks. It's not out of fear, but it's out of they don't want to be identified because they know what they're doing is wrong. They know at the end of the day that could put them in a bad situation. So they choose not to reveal their identity. And to me, that's out of fear of something. I'm not saying they're scaredy cats or they're punks or suckers. But hey, if you're wearing a mask and you're blocking, you're changing your voice and all that, it's because you don't want people to know who you really are. You want them to know about you were in prison and your status and your gang lifestyle and all that, but you don't want them to see your face so that they recognize you in public. You don't want them to hear your real voice because you don't want them to fucking be able to identify you. These guys do that in, I guess, to some form or fashion, it is out of fear, right? So that in itself doesn't give you the right to talk about anyone else, bro, if you're not explaining yourself first. You know, you could talk about all these different gentlemen in prison, expose their pictures, put them out there, talk shit about them, but you don't want to show your own face. Come on, what do you have to hide, right? But I didn't think that about this guy. I thought, hey, he's another prison content creator doing his thing, whatever. He's wearing the mask because he's trying to hide his identity because he'd be saying some crazy shit that he probably shouldn't be saying, and he knows this, and that's why he wears the mask. The masked magician, right? The exposer. Now, the other day I'm on a live, and the haters are coming in, which they like to do, and they like to call me Skittles and Runner and all these different names, which don't hurt me. If anything, man, all publicity is publicity. Show business, mijo, show business, right? And so I already realized and figured out a long time ago, man, I'm going to be hated all the time, every time. Look at me, right? I'm doing my thing. I'm going to be hated. It's part of the game. Cat Williams said it, right? I embrace it. Don't like it necessarily, but I embrace it, right? I don't think no one does. But I'm not a victim. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a fucking victim. I'm not going to play the victim role. I'm not going to acknowledge these guys all the time. If you notice, my videos aren't about the haters every day or none of that. I don't acknowledge the bullshit. I see it. I'm not dumb. I'm not a stupid man. But you can't hurt me, bro, by words. Words don't hurt me. I laugh. I embrace this shit, right? It's kind of like the Northerners with the Buster word, right? It's embraced. I have 114% Buster on my head. It's embraced, right? But these guys bring up this guy Rob's name, and they're talking to Dubs, who's also on the live. And I guess this man has decided out of nowhere to question Dubs and his status within prison. And he does a full video, and he's talking shit out of nowhere. Myself and Dubs never disrespected that guy, never made a video about him, never talked bad about him, never nothing. When people used to ask about, have you seen Disloyalty Rob or Loyalty Rob or whatever his name is? And I always said, oh yeah, but I don't watch his stuff consistently. I don't watch any of the prison genre because it's all Al Boo. It's all recycled stories, and it's all people fucking half of it's lies, right? So I don't watch it anymore. I moved on from that. You know what I'm saying? I watch fucking Joe Rogan and other things. Anyways, right? Mr. Ballin and all that. So anyways, this fucking guy, he does a video on Dubs, who's a friend of mine, right? And so I'm swerving. I'm faded a little bit. These haters come on the live mentioning his name. And I said, isn't that the fucking guy with the Jason mask that's talking shit? I said, him too now all of a sudden? Fuck, bro. Everybody wants to get a little fucking piece of the fucking views, right? Everybody wants to utilize myself or Dubs' names to get views. Everybody, right? These guys continue every day to make video after video after video, the same old shit, right? So I'm just like, wow, they have no hustle, no game, no fucking work ethic. They can't, it's easy to talk about the same people every day. Like talk about someone else. But this, I'm going to admit, this was the first, this guy never talked bad about me. And for that, I'm wrong. But we'll explain that. And so anyways, they're mentioning his name. I'm feeling myself. I'm buzzing. And I'm like, isn't that the guy with the mask? And someone's like, yeah, in the comments, yeah, that's that dude, this, that. And I'm like, why does he fucking wear a mask? I said, oh, the masked magician. He wears a mask because he's trying to cover his identity because he'd be saying some shit he probably shouldn't say in real life, right? And you would think someone that's laced up like he says he is, educated, been in prison on 4 yards, been around real hitters like he claims to in his stories, right, would know enough not to talk about certain things. That's people always going on Dubs all the time, man. All the time. This, that, and this. But have you ever once have him did a video talking about, conversations, personal conversations he's had with members of organizations or things like that? Certain things you just don't talk about. I remember years ago where Dubs wouldn't even say the word sureño or norteño. It took years for him to do that. He would always say the northern raza, the southern raza, or raza from the south, from Southern California. Remember that? But people want him like to expose certain shit, and because he doesn't, he's hated for it. And for various other reasons that I really, it baffles me. I don't understand. Whatever, right? So this dude Rob says, or people say, oh, I said he wears a mask. They say, oh, he wears a mask because he has cancer. Now, I don't know if he's ever exposed that or put that out there or said that. And so that must mean he wears the mask because he doesn't want people to see what the disease is doing to him. I've seen cancer eat people's lives away. I worked with a guy, man, an old Russian guy. We were welding, and I watched it from stage 1 to stage 4 do what it did, right? And it was a horrible situation. And my heart went out to him because we couldn't do nothing for him. And this man worked until the fucking almost the day he passed. The boss literally had to say, man, you need to go home now. That's it, man. He said, who's going to take care of my family? And they paid for his funeral and everything from the company that I worked at. Like, it was love. He'd been there for like 30, 40 years, way prior to me, right? Just a good old man. He ended up passing. I've seen what it's done to family members. I had a prima that passed. A lot of things that people don't know about me. I'll tell you guys 2 things. One thing, and I know all the haters, now Gunnerz saying no. I was born as a child with some form of cancer. And I had a surgery at 3 years old to remove that. I had to get older, right? It's facts. It's truth. I didn't know this till years later when I grew up. My mother explained it to me. I was like, oh, wow. I never knew that, right? And I got a little scar on my stomach from where they did that, the surgery. Just never realized it, right? So I don't play about cancer. I know it's a serious situation. Like I said, EBK just passed. You didn't hear me going in on him about that or even questioning it. Never once, right? And this dude talked a lot of shit about me, a lot about my family. When I was having my thing with my daughter, and the custody situation and all that, man, which ultimately I won 100%, right? He was going in on that, talking shit about me and my kid and just craziness, right? And never once did I disrespect him in this situation. But I did disrespect Rob. If he truly does have cancer, and I'm not questioning him, I don't know. But when people say he wears a mask to cover his face because of that, I doubt it. I think he wears a mask, and this is just my perspective, because he's trying to cover his identity because of the shit he speaks on YouTube. That's it. That's real. That is real, right? A lot of dudes do that. They don't want you to see who they are because they know they're fucking up. And when you have a mask on, that makes you more, it's like kind of like Michael Myers. He's killing everything with the mask on, right? It makes you more susceptible to just speaking on shit because you feel protected. You feel guarded, right? But I did say that night, fuck him. And I did wish death upon him and his cancer status. And the reason being is I was upset. I was angry with everybody, all these haters disrespecting me and wishing death upon me. So I did say that. Was I wrong for it? Probably so, because that man's never disrespected me. But I'm going to stand on what I said. What I said. I can't take it back. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Ask Blue Devil. Thumps has him in his song saying some derogatory bad things about Southsiders. I wish he could take back, right? But it just is what it is. So yeah, I did say that. But I was just upset. Like I said, I'm the bad guy when I say things, but he's not. Another thing that was said that night was people said, oh, he's an upstater. I said, fuck him, right? He talks shit, fuck him. Unprovoked, just talking shit to talk shit, fuck him. When a motherfucker fights back or says something back, all of a sudden they play the victim role and they're scared and this, and we're the bad guys, myself, Dubs, and anyone else who says their shit. But when people like Chill make videos and make rap songs and talk shit, oh, he's a real one. But if I say something back, oh man, why you got to talk about a brother like that, right? No. If you notice, I don't make videos every day about him. I made one video explaining my thing. He made his videos, and that was that. I don't really hate that dude in real life. He could talk his shit if he wants. And I don't really hate Rob in real life. I think it was just a mix of people wishing death upon me and just continuing talking shit, that here was another one that popped up. And you want me to feel sympathy for him because he wears a mask because of his disease. I'm sick too. I got diabetes I deal with every day. The shit don't stop. I still work hard. I still strive for mine. I do what I got to do. Right. And sometimes I make bad choices and bad decisions with the way I treat my health and the way I eat. But I'm a real motherfucker, and I'm willing to admit that. And I'm right here, homie. You could see me. Right? So do I apologize to him for saying that? Absolutely fucking not. I apologize to my people, how they're trying to make it look like, Gunner doesn't care. He's fucking wishing death upon people. They're wishing death upon me, bro. I just hit you with the boomerang. I don't have no fucking real hatred towards that dude, Rob. I don't even know that man. Definitely don't know what he looks like. None of us do, right? But one thing I'll say for sure, 100%, man, is yeah, I'm out of line for wishing death upon anyone, anytime. But it's out there and I'm going to stand on that. As far as the upstater thing, I said, fuck him. They try to make it, oh, he's disrespecting all the upstaters. Look, bro, I probably know more upstaters than a lot of these dudes that are talking about him do. But I do notice that a lot of these guys that talk shit about myself and Dubs, right, are drop out Southside upstaters. It's just the facts. Doesn't mean the upstate movement, something's wrong with it, but that's what it is, right? And, you know, it's crazy that they sit there and say, oh, you and Dubs disrespect the upstaters. Let me explain something to you, stupid, right? And those that are watching that are definitely not, right? Let me explain to these haters because they're going to watch this and probably people are going to do a video on it. I've never had an issue with upstaters other than fucking getting off where I was mad at. Like they were doing the same thing, trying to hurt me. I'm trying to hurt you. That's it, on the streets. You know, I used to feel sympathetic towards them in YA. I remember in the youth authority, prison, not necessarily so much because they were all under one thing. But I remember the 13 and a half days. I remember when the Sureños and the Southsiders from LA and Southern California, the way they were treating Vatos from up north that were Southsiders. I remember that. You know, it's crazy because Dubs told me a story, you know, and it's true facts, you know, him being from Santa Barbara. If you guys know any of the history of Santa Barbara, you got to understand that the organization from the north, right? One of the founding fathers, in fact, one of the most notoriously known founding fathers is from Santa Bruta. In fact, he's the reason why they call Santa Barbara Bruta. He's the one that came up with that, you know. And so Santa Barbara always was looked at different, even though they're in Southern California. When they went to YA, Vatos were kind of like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Are you Vatos? Back then, there was no such thing as upstaters. It was just, they used to call them Sureños del Norte. That's it, 13 and a halfers. Facts, right? So Dubs had to, there was always that black shadow or black cloud over the city of Santa Barbara. He had to fight up out of that. And he actually supported upstaters because he knew what they went through. Facts, right? So no, there's no hatred towards upstaters. I never have. You know, if I keep it real and the pendulum doesn't swing their way in a story, it just doesn't fucking swing their way. I've never been known to sugarcoat or add preservatives to nothing. I told you guys that day one. I'm not adding preservatives in my channel. I just keep it real. Some people like it. Some people love it. Some people shake my paw. Some people me mug it. You best to catch me. I'm coming smebbing. Did time in 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97 and more, right? It just is what it is. Look, no disrespect to that dude, Rob, because he never disrespected me. And I shouldn't have said what I said. I was out of line. But I said what I said and I stand on it. Meaning I'm not going to take it back. Okay? But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say fucking, oh man, I think bad about all cancer. If you guys don't stop it, anything that I say in life, motherfuckers try to put a twist on it. If I take a shit in the toilet right now, they'll say it's too big. If I'll take a shit that's big, they'll say it's not big enough, right? It's just crazy. Motherfuckers just love to hate and hate to love, right? And it's just real. Anyways, with that being said, I just wanted to put that out there because that's some real shit. If the Vato does have cancer, man, I feel your pain, man. But hey, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told EBK a long time ago. When you got a terminal disease or something, man, and you're in a situation, why do you take the last moments you have in life to spread hatred rather than spread awareness, man? I don't get it. You know, look, I'm sick, right? I got diabetes and I'm probably going to succumb to it, if not something else before then, right? Because I don't take care of myself as well as I should. And I got a lot of supporting people that tell me to do it. And I try, right? But I like to eat good food, right? Or bad food. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now, man. I'm trying to make the most of the moments I have with my family, my friends, and my supporters. And that's the truth. I'm not perfect. No one on this earth surface is, right? But work with the kid. And I know Jay-Z said it first, but I don't fuck with him. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Bang, bang.